All right, hey everyone, welcome to Q&Andy. What do we got, Mike?
Thank you to everybody for sending in your questions. So earlier in the last week, we sent out a request for questions around etiquette and umpiring. And we got a bunch of stuff ranging from, questions about changeovers to, classic moments from some showman umpires to get your take on it.
I'm going to get in trouble here. All right. By the way, just before I actually hear what the questions are, we just need to say, I understand we're a show that people can write in and ask questions. I am not the person to answer any questions about etiquette on a tennis court, just so we're very clear. So I know when this gets clipped up and people don't watch my mea culpa that I'm giving right now, people are like, oh yeah, you're going to be the one to address etiquette on the court. I'm saying it first. All right, here we are.
Luckily, there's not a lot. It's a lot about umpires.
Okay.
A lot about umpires, your favorite people.
Yeah.
First up, from our friend Ashley, if any umpire is wrong during a match on tour, how do you professionally argue your case?
You can't really in real time. Like, unless you call it the supervisor and the supervisor comes out. They always come out like talking into a walkie-talkie, but I don't know who they're talking to.
The supervisor is?
Yeah, always. Like, they're always have a walkie-talkie. And people are like, oh, it's raining. I'm like, it's indoors. There's no way if it's like a judgment call. I mean, the thing that you always want is like, the question I always had is like, if I'm wrong and I stink today, right? Like I go out and I lose. If you're wrong and you stink today, nothing happens. That used to drive me crazy. I would ask, are there checks and balances? Do you go back and review if someone's wrong? Does it affect their matches? Like I would get really annoyed if someone, bungled 2 matches early and then all of a sudden they're sitting on the final. Like I'm like, well that, I don't know about that. So I have many, many questions, but you can't really win much of an argument. Like if Medvedev's arguing about the balls to the umpire, there is literally not a thing the umpire will do. They're trying to, like, the only job now, especially because they don't even have to call lines anymore, is just keeping the peace and getting just kind of keeping the traffic going. That's it.
So are they not calling lines in all tournaments?
I'm sure they do sometimes, but like anyone that, that most of Earth is watching probably has some sort of review. I mean, you'll get the outside courts where it's like, it's old school where an umpire can kind of screw up the entire match, right? So it costs money to put in the system. So it's some of the smaller events on the outside courts. As far as I understand, they don't have it, and they certainly don't have it at all the challengers, and so. There is still room, but you're not going to see it in like a Rotterdam final, right? You're going to have the ability to review at the bigger tournaments.
So beyond the supervisor coming on the court in match, post match, is there like an actual process to like log a formal complaint?
I'm sure there is, but like then you'll lodge the formal complaint and then you'll never hear any feedback. There's not a simple like way to do it. It ends up. Like I was in a million arguments where it's spilled over to the referee's office after matches or the next day. And it's basically just me yelling and them going, I know, we'll take a look. Yep, we'll take a look at it. Well, I don't know about that. And then I'm like, okay, so if I screw up and explode, I get fined. And if they screw up, then nothing, we're good, right? Yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty frustrating.
Next up from Emar. I sometimes see tennis players in moments of frustration say something along the lines of, you're not even a tennis player, to the umpire. Do you think that umpires should be required to have a history of playing the game / do you think direct experience is necessary in order to be a good umpire?
You're not going to find a lot of former players that are going to be umpires. So doesn't matter what you wish for. It's like, it's not reality. I get so pissed. The thing that really used to send me off was, one, when you get a million reps as a player, the way a ball travels, the way it bounces, like you get a read on all that. And I don't know if you can develop a feel for that, having not lived it and seen it and practiced it from the time you're 7 or 8 years old. I don't know. You're probably less likely to be able to do all of those things, right? Which is the point of frustration. What used to absolutely drive me crazy, and this, I don't know if this is here or there, when the umpires would like, it'd be like raining or something, and they would get out and they'd be wearing like loafers, and they would like get out, get down from the chair, and they would like dab their foot like 4 times, and then they get back up in the chair and they'd be like, "You can still play." I'm like, from that, like, I don't know if you're right or wrong, but I'm just like, you got down, you went like this, and I go, "Is that the way that you think we move? Is that what you see? Do you see us going like just like walking around like that?" Used to drive me insane, and especially if they're like, "You're good to go," and I'm like, "It's actually slick." And they get down, they just tap their foot to measure the moisture and if we can move or not. I'm like, "You're the one deciding whether or not we can move with your little loafer?"
Your loafers on.
Yeah, give me a break. That used to drive me
Little
crazy.
boat shoes.
So I don't know about the actual calls and stuff, but I know that like when that stuff would happen, that's when I'd be like, "You have no fucking clue." Like, if you're doing that and that simulates movement, I don't even know what, like, it was the most passive aggressive shit ever.
Besides that, like truly understanding what it takes for the physicality of it, is there anything else that you think a player's insight would be more valuable to have for the perspective of an umpire?
Where umpires get where it's trouble, it's like it's like the judgment calls in the like some umpires will call the shot clock every time, some won't if it's a long point, you know. And so there's just a lack of clarity, and that's where I think 90% of the arguments come from, especially because you're not even arguing about line calls anymore. You're arguing about someone yelling from the stands, or you're arguing from, you know, it's just kind of controlling traffic. So, yeah, I mean, listen, if you're around enough, you know how to, you know, does every NBA ref have to have played? Absolutely not. No chance. It's just I like to see them sweating too. You know, they're hauling ass the whole time, you know. So it's just kind of bitterness. I don't think that you have to have been a player to be an effective umpire.
Next question's from Donald, and you kind of just touched on it here, but do umpires get direction on handling certain situations, or is it more of a personal judgment most of the time?
It's probably a personal judgment. I mean, you knew umpires that wanted to get involved and didn't. Like, you knew some people that, like, they announced the score, like some umpires, you feel like they want to be a part of the show. You know, it used to drive me crazy. Like, especially, and obviously all of this stuff only really drove me crazy when I was losing and needed to vent. But like when the umpire, 30, 15. I'm like, can you just say
the next question? I think references that.
Can you just say the fucking score? Like, why do you have to? Why is it like a dramatic reading every time someone wins a point? I'm like, that's so unnecessary.
As a fan, I dig it. As a fan, I dig it.
Yeah, maybe that's the counter. But I like imagine you just get, you know, you're down 15-40, you just miss out 15-40. Tomahawk a racket.
The next question is from David. What is the player consensus on Mohamed Lahyani's showman style of umpiring?
I like Mohamed Lahyani. I think he's a beautiful, decent man. And there's no world where you can, like, I remember him consoling Nick Kyrgios at the U.S. Open. I'm like, that is not your job. Your job is to not get him to play more. Like, if I'm the opponent there in that match, I'm like, get the fuck out of there. Like,
can you explain that for people that don't know? Like, he came down from the
so like Kyrgios was having
chair.
Kyrgios was doing Kyrgios things, he's whining and whatever. And Lahyani comes out and like gives him like a pep talk. Like in the middle of a match, he's like, "You can do," you know. I'll get the quotes wrong, but it was like he was on, like, you know, it was like you would coach like a small human in like soccer or baseball. You get on their level, and he was like talking to him. Like, if I'm Kyrgios' opponent, I'm like, "What are you doing?" If he keeps playing because, you know, and I think I think he won that match, but like, you cannot do that. Like, you cannot do that.
And it was a U.S. Open match.
Yes, it was at the U.S. Open. You cannot do that.
Kyrgios was trailing Pierre-Hugues, who's it? Herbert.
Yeah.
By the set in 3-0.
Yeah. And he gave him like a, "You can do it." I'm like, that's ridiculous. I love Mohamed Lahyani. If you get like nicest, he will not have a bad day. You see him behind the scenes, he's fantastic. He's a great, great person, nice human. and I would have lost my mind in that specific situation. Like you don't.
And he was the one that he also called scores and stuff in an entertaining way and stuff like that.
Yes, which was very annoying if you were having a bad day. That's it.
Great guy.
He is a great guy. Like he's the nicest person. He's so decent. And also it's like, that's like super annoying when you're not in the mood for it.
One person, Patty, wrote in, what happens if a chair umpire has to pee? And in the serve team, we were thinking about the iconic Isner match. I'm like, did that chair umpire even get out of their seat for 8 hours?
I don't. The most amazing thing that you will see from umpires is bladder control. It's I don't understand it. I mean, I guess you could go at a switchover quickly. There's normally a bathroom like right off the court. But like, I could never do, the sideline, even the sideline reporters who were like sitting there, like the mic, like I was texting with Isner, I'm like, how have you been sitting there for 4 hours? Like, I could never do it. I can't, like, I don't know how I've said this before, but like when we played the 09 Wimbledon, Mirka sat there the entire time. She was pregnant with twins. I'm like, how is that even, like, it was the most superhuman.
How is it possible?
Like, Roger broke the record. I tried my little heart out, and that might have been the most superhuman effort of the day. Amazing. Like, I don't know. That blows my mind. Like, their full-on camel control is phenomenal. Like, I don't know. Like, you can't have coffee, right? Like, it's not as if you're an hour away from going into the chair. It's like, I'm just going to have, like, a double espresso ripper.
No, they're they're prepping. They're prepping themselves.
It's like anti-hydration. Yeah, I don't know. That's I could not be, like, I know we talked about, like, I know see the way the ball travels and you see it better, and I couldn't sit in the chair. Couldn't do it. Nope.
Yeah.
Done.
That's funny.
Yeah, great observation. I have no idea. I don't know the answer to that. We should have an umpire on.
We should. That'd be great.
Yeah. We should have Mohamed Lahyani on.
I was just to say, should we have Mohamed on?
At the very least, we need to have him record an opening to Served. Welcome to Served. Like, subscribe. Brought to you by Service Now.
Amy asked, is there any standard etiquette in terms of the switching order? Is it just purely whoever gets there first, or is there a written or unwritten rule amongst the players?
No. It's whoever gets there first. Yeah, if someone's like
it's been used as like intimidation factor in the past before, right? Did you ever use it as like I'm the big dog?
No, not really with I mean, there's a famous incident with Spurlea and Williams, and she bumped and the whole, like, not really. I mean, I would use it like a switchover. It'd be like proximity. So like the worst thing I did, I was like, if I had to trash talk or something, I would do it as we were walking, and I would put the towel over because you muffle it enough so the mics can't pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't like bad. It was just like, I'd be like, you're 70 in the world and I have all afternoon to figure out why. Stuff like that. But I didn't really care. I wasn't like, I'm ever like, I have to get to my chair first. You would do it like you would run to your chair. Like if there was a match in a big Grand Slam match where it was like hot as anything and I ran to my chair for an hour straight just to kind of be a dick.
Just prove a point.
Yeah. Like I would like pretend like I wasn't feeling it. Yeah. So there's like little things like that, but there's no rule book on who gets to go to their chair first.
Last one, and I just wanted this one in here because we had our backhands episode earlier this week. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Andy and Chris Eubanks break down best backhands across a couple generations, which was pretty great. But Sam asked, more and more the sliding backhand cross is becoming a staple defense ground stroke. With a one-handed backhand that is very hard to do, is the slice fair replacement for it? Does it fundamentally put one-handed backhanded players at a disadvantage on the tour?
Well, let's just break this down, right? Players are going to do what best suits them to get a result, right? Now, are we seeing more one-handed backhands over time or way less one-handed backhands over time? The answer is less, right? And that's not because it's not cool looking. It's the coolest looking shot in tennis history. But yeah, I think open stance backhands, I think the way people are returning now, I think those are tougher with one hand. I think you have to have an extraordinary slice. Like Dimitrov can still hit it really well, but you also need some help from the court. Like you can hit the greatest slice in the world, and if it's a slow court and sits up, it's not great. For all those reasons that they mentioned, I don't really have much to add because defensively is tougher. Up out of the zone on a return is tougher. Getting two on a return is tougher. And then people are like, well, Fed did it. Yeah, otherworldly talents can probably work around it. Standard person trying to make it, I think, it's not an accident that we're seeing way more two-handers. They've figured out basically what you're making in the point with that question.
That's it. That's this week's Q&Andy.
Thank you for watching. This has been Q&Andy.